I weren't able to finish college. So, I felt na hindi ako importante. Yung ko na-realize na doon ako nanggagaling na feeling ko I was not important, na kung hindi dahil scholar ako, hindi ako makakatapos ng pag-aaral dahil nga ang laki ng hospital bills namin noon na that time. And also, siguro may, ayun, and na yun, upon realization, may a certain resentment ako nun sa father ko, doon sa father figure na kinalakihan ko, sa foster father ko. Kasi, ay, may tampo ko sa kanya. Kasi, hindi niya ako hinintay na graduate when he died. Yung brother ko, my foster brother who is a priest, he graduated 2007 and my father died 2008 and I graduated college 2009. Welcome to Awakening Truths, the podcast with Ana Santiago, wherein I share raw, sacred moments of how I shattered my old story and helped me rise up to the person who I truly am. So today's episode is somewhat personal and powerful. Let me take you back to my recent Awakening Truths IG signature series, episode number 4, entitled The Day I Finally Faced My Shadow, and I didn't run from it. So there are certain parts of me that I used to hide. The parts that somewhat held a lot of rage, shame, jealousy, and grief. So for the longest time, I thought healing is meant by more on making it more lighter, better, and more on a spiritual aspect. So, but real healing, I needed to face head on to those certain traumas and wounds. I needed to acknowledge them pala. I thought I was already doing the healing work in my recent years or previous years, but in reality, I was not. I was only focusing on what is the positive, or focusing on creating that external image rather than looking within myself and cracking open those certain wounds and traumas that I needed to address. So what is shadow work ba? So actually, shadow work sounded for me na when you enter the healing journey, it will be somewhat refreshing. You will be freed from everything. But it's more on yung surface lang pala, the tip of the iceberg lang pala yung tinitingnan ko with other people or what I have imagined the shadow work. So I didn't know that doing the shadow work, it's somewhat unraveling certain things that you are trying to hide, those certain traits na somewhat you are ashamed of. So, hindi ko alam na meron pa pala. Or, alam ko siya, I'm quite aware of that, pero I didn't acknowledge it as something that I needed to heal from. For example, more of the pattern that I have been noticing is the way that I'm trying to shrink myself. So, with my recent episode, I have discussed that I was shrinking myself for me to be loved. I thought by doing little adjustment, it's myself. I'm giving bits and pieces to myself wherein I give more on to people around me. So what good example am I pertaining to that? So when it comes to my rates, konting adjustment lang, I didn't see the value that I was putting out and the value that I was receiving, or the energy exchange that I am receiving from the services that I am offering to my clients. So I thought na if I will be charging with a particular amount, for example, with my rate, I have a 555 na rate. I needed 15 minutes. I needed to do more so that I can justify the rate that I am imposing. Because in the back of my mind, it's the way of me pleasing or earning those certain clients, or earning from my clients by the way that I'm putting more than what is required from me. So, it took me some time. Actually, hindi lang some time. It took me a couple of years. So, I'm in this certain industry for almost 3 years, pero it took me 2 years to completely realize that I am devaluing myself, devaluing my work, or the energy that I am producing or providing in my services. So I didn't see the real deal of what I am offering in my services. So I'm more on tying it up that I needed to do more for me to justify, to compensate what I am earning. I needed to struggle because I was programmed like that. I grew up in a certain environment that I needed to work to prove myself. I needed to do more. So I am afraid na walang ginagawa, baka sabihin tamad ako or anything. Kasi yun yung na-instill sa atin eh. So, alam mo naman, the certain mindset that had been put to us, we Filipinos, yun yung na embed sa atin. So I thought by doing more, struggling, overwhelming myself, multitasking is the way of you justifying that you will be kumbaga parang meant for the certain rate that you are putting out or you are publishing to the public. So where in reality, it's not more on the rate, it's more on what value that they will be getting, that the certain insight, the experience that they will be having, the clarity that they will be receiving from the certain services. Actually, I have encountered, it's not only with my services, but also the way that I did go back again in the academe na even though the rate was not well compensated, I did accept for the sake of the love of the job. So, I saw now. So, yun yung naging pattern ko recently. And also with the recent clients that I am encountering na they are paying me with my previous rate and I end up not having boundaries when it comes to the schedule or the time frame that the certain reading will be presided. I was consuming myself. I was drained. So, kumbaga I was asking little additional, but it's not totally to compensate what I have put out in the certain session. So I encounter not only once or twice, but thrice that same kind of client or another client that same situation but different scenario. So those were the patterns that I have come across recently that more on that provided me a certain switch. It's the last straw. And to align it with the certain context, I was encountering financial difficulty at that time. And the reason why I did go back to the academe as a part-time faculty is I thought by having that part-time job, it can add up to my financial, kumaga parang earnings so that I can settle my financial obligation wherein it wasn't enough for me to to pay my certain financial obligation. So until to the last point that I encountered that certain trigger realization na I needed to speak out. I needed to really tell my truth to my siblings. So the reason why I was afraid of telling them is because I was afraid of they are seeing me as a failure. They see me as somewhat na I told you so na sana hindi ka muna umalis. Yung ganun na baka masermonan ka pa dahil you got out in a certain situation or your previous work. So it's more on yung naging rason ko why I wasn't able to tell my truth to them because I was afraid of being a burden to them because I know that they are also encountering financial difficulties. We recently have finished constructing our commercial establishment na yung palang kami nakakabawi from that certain construction. And that is the reason why that I don't want to add up to their certain obligation. So I felt like I was not worthy of their help. I was not worthy of their care. So I was now contemplating. It had me, I have some time to really contemplate. Saan ang gagaling? Saan ako nanggagaling? Bakit ganun yung takot ko in expressing my certain truth to them? So I realized that way back when my father died. So alam naman natin na I usually tell this to my clients, the father wounds or yung father figure natin in our life represents stability and security and also confidence. So realizing that 17 years ago when my father died. Not my biological father, but my foster father, yung tumayong tatay sa akin. Hindi man kami totally that really close, but I recognize him as my father. And the way that we lost him 17 years ago or 18 years ago was somewhat, what they call that, devastating. Devastating to the extent that during that time period, I remember it was 2008. I was supposed to be a fourth year student that time when he died. So entering the new semester, I almost thought that I wasn't able to enroll kasi ang laki ng naging expenses namin that time during the hospital bills, during his hospitalization. Luckily, at that time, I was a scholar under my brother who is a priest. So if weren't for that certain scholarship, I weren't able to finish college. So I felt na hindi ako importante, na yung ko na-realize na doon ako nanggagaling, na feeling ko I was not important, na kung hindi dahil scholar ako, hindi ako makakatapos ng pag-aaral dahil nga ang laki ng hospital bills namin noon na that time. And also, siguro may, ayun, and na yun, upon realization, may a certain resentment ako nun sa father ko, doon sa father figure na kinalakihan ko, sa foster father ko. Kasi, ay, may tampo ko sa kanya. Kasi, hindi niya ako hinintay na makagraduate when he died. Yung brother ko, my foster brother who is a priest, he graduated 2007 and my father died 2008. And I graduated college 2009. I was having this conversation. Sorry, guys. I have to be vulnerable in this one. I had this certain conversation sa kanya. Sabi ko, Tay, andaya mo. Andaya mo, hindi mo man lang ako inintay makagraduate. Bakit si isang ko? Bakit yung kapatid ko? Kaya mo makagraduate. Kumaga parang naabutan mong graduate. Ako, hindi mo ako naabutang graduate. There is a certain pain in me na parang I was not worthy. Parang hindi ako importante that time. Doon ang galing yung the certain fear or trauma that I felt that I wasn't important. Kasi iniiwan ako. Iniiwan ako ng mga taong somewhat na ayun, nagiging close ko or kumaga parang nagiging attached ako. Naiiwan ako. That is, I felt abandoned. I felt I was not important. So, yung rage na yun, I felt jealous of my siblings, my foster siblings. I felt jealous na bakit sila ganito. And I didn't know na ngayon ko lang din na-recognize that I was carrying that certain wounds until to this very day, until I release it. So, those are the certain patterns that I realize, and those were the certain emotions that I suppressed throughout these years. 18 years after my foster father died. Kumaga parang lagi na lang ang napipili. I was not being prioritized. I wasn't left behind. But in reality, ngayon ko na-realize, I was abandoning myself. I was abandoning because I keep choosing external circumstances rather than myself. Because na-program sa isip ko at an early age, my biological father, I didn't know my biological father. I was supposed to be aborted by my biological mother. Na I was adopted by this family. So, I was supposed to be abandoned. Tapos ngayon yung napalapit. Kasi si father, my foster father, he was the one na naging close. Yung nag-alaga sa akin, nag-nurture sa akin. And naghahatid sa akin sa school. He do pick me up. He do send me to school. So, he was the one that was nurturing me that time. So, close kami. Hindi man totally close, pero ayun, naging close ako nun. And upon realization, actually, I came to this certain realization after all of the deliverables that I have with the school. So nangyari, going back to the academe as my part-time job, it became my distraction. It was my way of escaping and not facing what I needed to face. So after all of the deliverables that I have with the school, saka ko lang siya naupuan. That is the time that I was able to sit on it, to really contemplate where is this coming from, and also the way that I was able to speak my truth to my sister. Doon talaga na-open up at noon time na nag-usap-usap kami ng mga sister ko, bakit? So, yung parang ganun nangyari. Kasi sabi ko, the reason why that I didn't tell you, because I was afraid na makagalitan niyo ko. I was afraid that you will be angry at me. At, kumbaga parang ayoko kasi maging pabigat sa inyo. I don't want to burden you with my problems. So I thought by doing things on my own, in my own terms, I was going to be able to fix everything. But in reality, I was losing myself along the process of trying to fix everything on my own. Akala ko kaya ko. Kaya kong suluhin, kaya kong mag-isa. And they told me na, yes, we will be getting angry of you, of the mistakes that you made, pero tutulungan ka pa rin naman namin eh. We will be helping you out. Kasi you are our sister. And that really, really hits different. Kasi for the first time, narinig ko siya na hindi pala ako outsider. Na-realize ko I was the one telling myself that story that I'm an outsider, that I'm not a part of this family because I'm an adopted child. So, I thought na all alone, isip ko, I was the one putting it in my mind that I am not part of this family. I'm not worthy of being part of this family. Kaya, I was doing everything I can so that I don't end up being a failure, na hindi ko madungisan yung pangalan na meron ako na ginagamit ko from them. All alone. It was just only me. All alone. I was the one putting it on my brain na you needed to do this, you needed to do that. You you must not be a failure. You needed to be perfect. You needed to do everything you can so that you can be part of this family, that you can be, kumbaga parang a badge of honor to be worthy of, kumbaga, worthy of the surname that you have. So I was the one pushing that certain beliefs on myself until I heard it from them. Na, kasi sister ka namin eh, tutulungan ka namin. It really hits different. Anyway, so that's it. That's the story that I have encountered. That is the time that I didn't run away na ngayon. I was running away from feeling I'm ashamed of myself. I was ashamed to face myself of my mistake. I thought I was taking accountability, taking responsibility. Yung pala, I'm running away from facing what I needed to face. And right now, I'm truly very, very grateful to them because one of my biggest problems, it saved my sanity actually. One of the biggest problems that I have is my financial situation, and they had saved me, really, really saved me, and I'm truly forever be grateful to them, and I want to return the favor talaga to them for the efforts that they have made, for the financial assistance that they had given me. I'm grateful of this family. We may not be the perfect family, or they might not be the perfect siblings, or I might not be perfect, but still, there is a reason that I'm here. It's because of them. Forever grateful for them, for accepting me for who I am and loving me unconditionally. Even though I don't love myself. Kasi I feel like I needed to be someone that I'm not. So, that's it for today's episode. So, that is the vulnerable side of me that I wasn't able to share that much. Because in reality, I'm very selective of people who I let in my space. And I'm not totally really sharing those certain story. Unless now. For those who will be watching and listening to this episode, thank you so much for having that certain ear to listen to this certain story. I do hope that steers something in you. If you felt resonating with the story, do let me know in the comments of where you will be watching this particular episode or listening to this podcast. So, this is it for this episode. Thank you so much for being with me, for sharing this certain space or providing a space for me to hear me out on my certain episode. So if you are drawn to my certain energy or the services that I provide, I do offer tarot and coaching, tarot and oracle card reading and coaching, and also integrate them into my sessions. So if you feel called or drawn to my certain services, so if you wanted to book a session with me, kindly go to the description of wherever you will be watching this. Kindly click the certain link bit.ly/meeting with Ana Santiago for you to book video call or video recorded reading with me. Or if you wanted me to be your coach, to help you out, to guide you through in your certain journey, please answer first yung aking discovery intake. So kindly look into the link that you will be seeing in the description section of the antidote dash discovery intake form. So kindly answer it first, and afterwards, after you answer that, schedule your call with me so that we can dive deep and getting to know if I'm the appropriate coach for your situation and if we meet halfway in the certain sessions or the services that I offer. So, again, this is what I got for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for staying with me in this particular episode. So, again, this is Ana Santiago, your soul alignment coach, spiritual guide, and a tarot and oracle card reader. So, sending you much love and light. See you on the next episode. Bye.